Hey, happy Friday, everybody. I'm sitting here with Leah Kelley, the head softball coach at Maryville College in Maryville, Tennessee. And good news for all the Tennesseans, they have started to open up Tennessee from the old Corona, so we're going to whip it. So how you doing today, Leah?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day here in East Tennessee, so I'm enjoying this nice weather that we have. And trying to isolate, but also keep a little bit of sanity at the same time. So,
Well, awesome. Well, I'll hand it off to you and let you talk to the kids about recruiting during this pandemic.
right, yeah. First, I want to thank you for this opportunity to reach out to kids and try to direct them the best way possible in the recruiting process, because I know right now this is such a hard time. It's already hard to the recruiting process is already pretty tough. So even right now, I'm sure kids are having a lot of questions on the direction that they should be. So I appreciate this opportunity. What I want to touch on today mostly is about emails, sending emails to college coaches, what they should look like, basically the do's and don'ts of that. And right now is such a great time to be sending emails to college coaches, because we're not out traveling, we're not out recruiting, we're not coaching our teams right now. So we are sitting here in front of our computers, in front of our phones. And so that's a quick way for you to quickly access us right now, because we do have a lot of downtime right now to go over those emails. So what I'm going to touch on today is basically what you should include and what you should not include into those emails. Things to remember about emails. We get 20 to 30 emails a day from college, or from kids that want to play in college. And so when you're writing these letters, I think it's important that you do keep it short but also informative. And things that I want to touch on for you guys to know when tiering these emails is your introduction, and then basically you're writing a cover letter, and then also a resume. And when I'm talking about your introduction, things that you should include in that introduction is obviously your hometown, just so we know that going into that. And then also, if you play any other sports, that's one of the biggest things that I look for when I'm recruiting kids, is playing other sports. Is that something that's important to you? If you're a dual sport athlete, because playing other sports allows different techniques, different motions, and different athleticism that transitions into softball. Else, like, why do you want to play in college? That's when I'm reading emails, a lot of kids talk about basically they love softball, they enjoy playing softball. I want to know why you want to play in college, because playing in college can be tough and it could be demanding, and we want to know if you're going to be able to fit into that type of atmosphere. So I want to hear why you want to play, and then also things that you value. Is it just softball? Is it academics? What are you looking for in a college experience? Because then I'm able to match up exactly what my demands are and what your demands are at the same time. And then the next step would be your cover letter. When you're doing a job interview and when you're going after jobs, that is something that you're going to have to be able to write. And when I'm saying write your emails, I want you to write them, not your parents. I want you to write your emails. I want to hear from you. And the cover letter part is basically, why Maryville College, if you're writing to Maryville, obviously, why Maryville College fits to what you want into a college experience. And so, why Maryville? Is it because we're a liberal arts school, we're a Division III school, we have your major? What are you looking for, and the values that Maryville College has and what you have? We want to know that you have done your research, that you have looked up the majors, that we have your majors. There's some times where I get emails from kids and, they say they want to major in something, and we actually don't have that major. And so I want to make sure that you've done your research on those types of things, of why we fit into what you're looking for. Let's see, what else? how Maryville College lines up with your values. Again, it goes back to doing your research. Whenever you're doing a job interview and you're asking to join a company, you're going to have to tell them why you fit into that company. And so making sure that obviously that, like I said, that you've done your research, that you've looked into class sizes, that you've looked into campuses, you looked into the area, you looked into the travel, just so we, again, know that you line up with what we value. And then again, we want it to be personal. And, you know, when I'm looking at emails, I don't like just a copy and paste generic email. We obviously can tell that as college coaches. I like to hear that you looked up our record, that you know about us, that you know that we are back-to-back championships, that we're a top 25 team in the nation, stuff like that, because we as college coaches like to hear that type of stuff. We like to hear that you know, like the successes that we've had as a softball program. And then something I do want to touch on is scouting services. And I know that they send out mass emails to colleges across the campus or across the country. And there's a lot of do's and don'ts with that. Whenever I graduated from Maryville College, I actually worked for a scouting service, so I understand the background of that it has. And they all have all the great intentions in the world, and I truly believe in what they do. But also in the same sense, when I get those emails, sometimes I look at them and sometimes I don't, just because they are generic emails going out to masses of country, and it's kind of a funnel effect type of thing. You reach out as many as you can to try to get as many as you can responses. So when you are trying to send out emails to college coaches, I know a lot of people say make a list of your top 5 schools. I say make a list of your top 10. Make a list of your top 10 schools that you really have invested in, looked into, and believe that you would really, truly be a good fit for. And you email those coaches on a consistent basis. Just so that way that you're not mass emailing everybody, that you're making it more of a personal experience for those college coaches. And then it goes into your resume part. So that's where you're putting in your statistics, your high school statistics, your travel ball statistics, what travel team you play. I also would like to hear where you bat in the lineup, because where you bat in your lineup tells me a lot about you as a player. If you're a leadoff, if you're batting in the 3 spot, if you're batting usually in the 4 spot, if you're batting in the 9 spot, that way I can understand you more as a ball player, where you are and what type of hitter that you are. Also what positions that you play. And a lot of people talk about, you know, should I put that I play all these different positions, or should I say that I just play one position? I believe if you've played third base your entire life, then you're a third baseman. But I think it's also important that you're able to play multiple positions, because say you come into Maryville College and say I'm recruiting you, I get your email and you're like, I just played third base. I have an All-American third baseman that's started since her freshman year, but you're also a good hitter and you come into my program. I need you to be able to play another position. Say left field is open. I need to know that you're athletic enough. So when you're putting your positions, I think it's important to obviously put your primary position, but then also a secondary position that you're able to play. I think being an athlete, especially in college, whenever you're in the recruiting process and you get to college, you may be, like I said, you may be playing third base, or I may need you in left field. I have a kid right now. She's a freshman, and she is an unbelievable athlete. I think she is by far one of the most athletic kids that I've ever coached. And she's a pitcher. She can play first base. She can play outfield. Earlier this year, she was starting at first base. Then I had to move her out to left field, just because she's such a threat offensively that we're going to find a position for her. So I think it's important that you're able to communicate that in your email about what type of player that you are. And then obviously, and if you take anything from this recruiting talk, it is that you have got to include a video. When you send your emails, you have got to put in a video. If you do not have a video, you need to, as soon as you get off this recruiting talk, you need to go and make a video as soon as possible. Because there's a lot of times where I get emails. Think about this as a business. Whenever I get emails, a kid will say, you know, I played third base. I go to this high school. I want to go to Maryville College. I really would love to play for you, but I also live in California. There's a chance that I may never get to be able to get out there and watch you play. And so by sending an instant video, I'm actually able to see you right then and there, you know, your athletic ability. And it doesn't have to be a long video. Videos are to get you recruited. So whenever you start your video, always start with your strength. If you are a great hitter, start with hitting. If your strength is speed, start with speed. Pique our interest at the beginning of that video, and then can continue on. It has to be, you know, just a couple of swings from the back where we can actually see where the ball goes, and then from the side where we can actually see your swing and be able to judge you on your swing. And then base running, you know, you can time it. You can put the time up there if you want to, but we as college coaches, we're going to be, when we watch your video, we're going to be timing it as well. So try to keep those, again, as accurate as possible. And then the positions that you play. If you play, you know, third base, I want to see you throwing to first a couple times. I want to see you on the run making some throws. If you're an outfielder, I've seen videos for outfielders where their longest throw is to like second base if they're a center fielder. If you have a cannon, I think you should show it off. If you're in center field, I would like to see you throw it all the way home. You know, show off as much as possible your strengths in that video. And then the way the process works is you send me this video, you send me this email with all this information, and I see your video. I like the things that you say. I like the things that you talk about as far as what you value and how Maryville College fits into those values. And again, I watch your video, I'm more likely to come and watch you play. You know, and then concluding your email, ask for camp information. I cannot stress camps enough when it comes to the recruiting process. Coming to a camp, when a coach invites you, you send an email and then a coach invites you to a camp. I think it is so crucial that you go to that camp, because that is right there getting in front of them at that very moment where they're able to coach you, interact with you both ways, where you get to see their coaching style, they get to see how coachable you are. I think it's so important that kids go to camps, you know. And then I get the big question, I always do recruiting talks at the end of my camps or camps that I go to, and people ask me all the time, and I'm big on this, is if I send you an email with the camp information and I've asked you and I've invited you to a camp and you tell me that you can't because there is a travel ball tournament, this is not just me saying this is every college coach in the nation, and you say that you're not going to come to my camp because of honoring, we totally get that. I totally understand honoring a commitment to go to a travel ball tournament, but let's also remember what travel ball is for. Your travel ball is to give you play during the summer. College camps are designed, if you're really interested in that camp, go to that camp, and that shows me your interest in that camp. You know, again, honoring a commitment, I totally get that. But at the same time, I don't think a kid should be punished because a team can't fill a roster. So go to the camp and get yourself recruited. Always all my little recruiting talks, always get into that. But I think that's so important when it comes to the recruiting process, because at the end of the day, the recruiting process is about you and your next step. And so take pride in that. Take pride in your recruiting process. Take pride in your ability to get recruited. And like I said, when you go to those camps, stand out. I think that is so important. You know, go up and talk to the college coach, because 9 times out of 10, I've recruited other kids that I'm interested in, and maybe I have 3 third basemen that I'm interested in at the same camp. You better believe we are comparing you guys. And so stand out, make yourself known, come up and talk to us. And again, take pride in your recruiting process. And then something else that I would love to see more of in emails is ask if you can call us. We're college coaches and we love to hear from you. So ask if you could call us and conversate with us again, because that goes back to having pride in your recruiting process. And so when you conclude your email, just ask if, you could reach out to us and talk to us more about the school, talk to us about camps. Because again, we want to hear from you. We want that type of interaction. We want that type of initiative. So to go back over it, make sure you do your introduction, tell us who you are, what positions that you play, your cover letter. Why is Maryville College the college that you want to go to? Make it personal. Make every email that you send personal to that college. And then your resume about, your stats, things that are important to you, your video to show off your skills. And then again, your conclusion, ask for camp information. Go to as many camps as you possibly can to not only get recruited by that school, but also learn from an actual college coach. You get to learn different type of techniques from that college coach. So I think all those things are important. And then a question that I get a lot is, well, how often should I email a coach? I would say, in all honesty, once a week to once every 2 weeks. And, change up the emails. This is what's new. This is my travel ball schedule. I hope you're able to, come and watch me play. This is what's been going on. This past weekend, I hit, 400 with 10 RBIs. All that information is really crucial, to us. And let's see. Yeah. What if a college coach responds with camp information? Should I go? If you're interested in that college, go to that camp. It is that simple. If you want to, and say that you're not that interested in that school, but you're trying to get to know, camps are designed to, one, get you right in front of that college coach, and then two, learn college-based skills, college-based drills to better you as an all-around player. So go to those camps. Go. And go to all types of camps. There are all types of camps now that, there are different variations. There are all types of college coaches go and work different stations, or you can go to just one college's camp that they're putting on at their school. Then another question that I get is, what if a college coach doesn't respond to my email? You have to understand that we get so many emails, and then there's also restrictions on when we're able to respond. And say I get an email from a kid, and she's a 2022 shortstop, and maybe in that summer I don't need a 2022 shortstop. I do, if you guys are listening, I do need a 22 shortstop. But if I don't, then I may just put that email off to the side. But then I get into my fall and I'm start looking around and I'm like, well, maybe I do need a 22 shortstop. And then I will reach back out to you. Or again, we'll send you camp information to get you right in front of us. So don't worry if a college coach doesn't respond initially to an email. And I know how that can seem, of hurting of feelings or anything like that. It's nothing like that. Sometimes, we're either not able to, or in that moment that is not a need for us, but needs always change. So yeah. Is there anything else, Brig, that I needed to touch on?
No, I think that's awesome. You were very thorough on the what they need to include and what not to include in their email. So, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to, share that kind of information with our kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you all have any questions for me moving forward, I'm here to help, glad to help. I know this is such a tough process for you all to go through. So reach out with any recruiting information or any recruiting questions, and I'll be glad to answer those. You can reach me on my email or Twitter or Instagram at Coach Kelley MC, and I'll be happy to answer any questions moving forward.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.